What is up, everybody? This is JP, your online personal trainer, and today I'm coming at you with a video that you guys like a lot. You guys really like to see these comparison videos between two different certifications, and this video is going to go over the NSCA's CSCS. The company NSCA stands for National Strength and Conditioning Association, and the certification is the Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. The second company that we're going to go over is the CSCCA, which is the Collegiate Strength and Conditioning Coaches Association, and the certification that they have is the Strength and Conditioning Coach Certified. Both the company names and the certifications themselves sound extremely similar. Both of these certifications are for athletic performance of collegiate athletes, football, basketball, wrestling, however it's going to be, but they're aimed for athletic performance is what they are. They're not aimed for special populations. They're not aimed just for personal training, which these cover a lot of the same aspects as personal training, but they're not just aimed for personal training. They, like I said, they're aimed for athletic performance, strength, power, performance on the field, performance for the sport. These are higher end certs. They're like elite certifications because they require you to have a lot more to even try these certs, and they're a lot more difficult. I'll explain the difficulties in each category as I go over them. Okay, to start out is the NSCA's CSCS. Again, that's Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. First things first, you guys probably want to know the money. If you remember, most organizations have a membership that you can do. If you are a personal trainer already, then you probably already know this. But if you remember, you can take the test for $340. You're probably like, well, I don't know what a membership is and I don't want to get one anyways, which most people are like that, but it's going to cost you $485 then to take the test. So that can be pretty pricey depending on the person. There are a lot more certifications out there that cost more. I know even personal trainer certifications, their elite super premium packages like ACE has can run for like what, $900, $800, maybe even $1,000. So that's way more than that. Now that does not include the study materials. That just includes just taking the test. Now the regular study materials, nothing ridiculous, nothing crazy, just the regular study materials that I found from the website themselves. You can get a new textbook and the new textbook is like a regular school textbook based off everything that you'll need for the CSCS exam for the most part. But they also have a technique book, which I thought, okay, maybe for someone who wants to get just a little bit more, that'll be good too. Both of those combined, the technique book and the regular textbook, cost $188. Now they have another bonus super package on there for like $500. It comes with extra questions, a bunch of extra questions, and a few other things. You can look it up online yourself. That costs $500. I didn't feel like that was something you're going to absolutely need. I feel like you probably need these two things, the technique book, and then just the textbook. It comes out to $188. So if you add these two up, it's probably somewhere close to $600, not including tax. For this certification, you need a bachelor's degree to even take the test, or you have to be a senior in college. Basically, you have to have your bachelor's degree, or you have to be in your last year before you get your bachelor's degree to take the CSCS exam. And if you are a senior and you don't have your bachelor's degree yet, when you get your bachelor's degree, you have to mail it to them or email it to them electronically, obviously closed. You can't tamper with it or anything. Then they'll give you your certification, your actual certificate for passing the test. But unless you're a bachelor's degree, you don't get the certificate for passing the test until you have it yet. So again, you have to be a senior in college, or you have to have your bachelor's degree to even take the test. And you actually have to have your bachelor's degree to receive the certificate for passing the exam. You also have to have your CPR and AED. That's pretty self-explanatory if you're a personal trainer, but you have to have that, and you have to email that to them too, or mail it to them too, for you to be able to get your certificate when you pass the test. These numbers right here, 80 and 15, that applies to the actual regular exam that you're going to take. So basically your plain test that you would take in school that asks you a bunch of questions about whether that be the science of being a strength and conditioning specialist, anything that you read in your main exam textbook, I would figure that they're going to cover. The 15, there's going to be 15 non-scored questions scattered throughout the exam that they're not going to count towards your final score. They have them scattered throughout the exam, and you won't know which ones are scored. The 80 is the ones that are scored, which is what you're going to be graded on, and the 15 is what you're not going to be scored on. Those 15 are just information that the company, the NSCA, wants to use for future tests. Maybe they want to put those questions in on a different test, but again, you'll never know. I heard someone complain about that because they said that they couldn't finish the test in time, and that they would have wished that they could have known which one were non-scored. But honestly, that kind of defeats the purpose of the NSCA. They want those questions to be taken seriously like a regular question, even though they don't count. Then that's just for the regular exam. Now you have a practical exam which goes over videos. So that's like your multiple choice format. They ask you a question, you answer it. Then they have a practical exam where they show you some videos and then you have to answer questions about that. That's more like, that's very practical because you're seeing somebody and you have to judge whether an exercise is wrong or what to do. It's basically more, it's visual. It's not technically hands-on, but it's saying what you would do if you're doing something hands-on. That's 110 questions with, again, 15 non-scored questions scattered throughout. The passing rate is 63%. So basically 63% of people who take this test pass it, which is not very high at all, to be honest. It's pretty bad. That's almost one, basically 3 out of every 5 people pass it. So that's not very good odds. Make sure you study, because if you don't study, you're not going to pass it. Recertification is every 3 years. I don't know how much it costs to recertify. I looked all over the website for you guys, but I just couldn't find. I figured somewhere between $50 and $100. It's probably not that much. But again, that's not including like your CEUs, your continuing education credits, which you have to get in that 3 years to recertify, or you could just take the test again with the NSCA. You don't have to do CEUs. You could just take the test, and then that counts too. But I don't know how much it costs to retake the test. I think it's like $100 or something. But that's all, like, kind of like the technical details of it. Now, I have this certification book. I bought it because I wanted to read it. I've read it a while ago. I read the entire thing. I took notes on it. The one thing I would have to say about the CSCS exam, as you can tell by the passing rate, it's pretty hard. If you are someone that, obviously you have to have a bachelor's degree to take this, but if you are someone who struggles with anatomy, physiology, bioenergetics, cardiovascular fitness, and I'm talking about in-depth, the endocrine system, like very complicated, I guess, for some people who don't know, big words. Just think of the most sciencey textbook you can think of related to fitness. And the book is like 700 pages. So if you do not study very, very, very in-depth, it depends on 2 things. If you do not study very, very, very in-depth, then you are not going to pass. Don't even think about passing. And if you do, I guess this is more of a genetic thing, I guess. If you just don't have like a natural talent for learning stuff like this, fitness and the science of the human body does not come easy for you, then again, I would just study more. Overcompensate by studying more. Maybe read the book 4 times, take a ton of notes, flashcards on it, or do like note cards on all the definitions. But again, 63% is not high. I mean, it's almost one out of every 2 people is failing or not passing it. So I don't know that's just a passing rate for people. I don't know what you need to pass to pass the exam. I couldn't find that anywhere. It's probably either between 60 and 80%. They may do the whole, if you get a D, it sucks, but you still pass, or you have to have 75% or higher, which will even make it more difficult. So yes, I would definitely study for this certification in depth. Again, you can get the book. I got the book on a tablet, so I got like the ebook. It only cost me $60, so you can even get it cheaper than this $188 if you get the ebook like I did. But again, it's very in depth. I couldn't stress that enough. You're gonna see it, and some people, like you said, it's all based on the person. If you're someone who loves the science of the body, you studied a lot about this stuff already, and you're like a real nerd for it, kind of like how I am. Which it was still hard for me, but I'm saying if you're just extremely smart, then, and you may think, oh, it was medium difficulty or it wasn't that hard. But I've rarely come across someone who said that book is easy to read. It goes super, super, super in depth. A few other things to note: the bachelor's degree, oddly enough, the bachelor's degree does not have to be in an exercise-related field. It could be any field. So if you're someone who's like, oh, well, I've heard someone say this in a forum before. They were taking law, or going to go to law school. Obviously, you have to take a lot of school for that. But they got through their bachelor's degree, and they don't want to do law anymore. Then they wanted to do the fitness route. And then they learned about this. Since they had their bachelor's degree in law, they just ended up taking this test. I don't know if you passed it or whatever, but yeah, so the bachelor's degree can be, I mean, I don't think they have a bachelor's degree in this, but the bachelor's degree could be basket weaving for all you care. It doesn't even matter. But any bachelor's degree will do, and then you're valid for the test. But that's the thing, though. If you do not have a bachelor's degree in exercise-related field, you have to study a ton. Like I said, the test is extremely hard if you just study a little bit or you don't know anything. You're going to get the book, and it's going to kind of be not gibberish, but there's going to be some parts, like especially the endocrine system chapter, that's pretty difficult. So again, I would really recommend it being in an exercise-related field that you have a bachelor's degree. But if you don't, then just maybe get become a certified personal trainer before you take this. That'll help you get on your feet, learn some about the human body, buy some other books, buy an anatomy and physiology book, study that first, and then go through this book, and then you should be ready. Another thing to note is that even though the practical, the 110 and 15 non-scored questions it's a practical and there's a video questions, I still do not like how you may be able to purchase it, but the fact that it doesn't come with the regular test, the fact that it doesn't have any hands-on, like an actual hands-on exam or demonstration, especially for a high-end cert, it kind of knocks it a little bit in my opinion. Everything is great about the test. The test is hard, which I really like because, again, it's a high-end certification. But the fact, like I said, that kind of irks me because you could be someone who has a bachelor's degree in a non-exercise related field, be really book smart, just be really good with books, and then take the test, pass it, but you're not good. You've never actually trained a single person. You can never train a single person ever. Looking at, I don't care what anyone says, looking at pictures, even if you look at hundreds of videos, looking at pictures, it's not the same as seeing someone in person. Being a personal trainer myself, I don't have any of these certifications, but I'm a certified personal trainer. Being a personal trainer myself, I've learned a lot from just experience. Yes, books play a ton in how much you learn, but you have to have both. You have to have books and hands-on experience. So that's a big knock for me against them. That's one thing I don't like. But other than that, it's probably the only thing I could say I don't like is that you don't need any hands-on experience or hands-on exam to actually take the test and pass it. So again, you can take that for what it is. All right. The second certification we're going to go over is the Strength and Conditioning Coach Certified. Again, this one they sound extremely similar, but they are definitely different. This one, it costs $360 for members. Again, same thing as the other one. Membership you have to buy. It's probably you have to buy annually. You get special perks or whatever. That's probably one of the perks. You get this for cheaper. And then the non-membership price is $470. Now, what's odd about this certification is they have some PDF files that you can download to help study for the test. They're like the NCAA rules, the collegiate rules, rule books for Division 1, 2, and 3 for helping you become a better leader. I don't know. I didn't really look over them too much, but that's not all the study materials. This certification course does not have an official book. They don't have like their own book that they made for their course. They're basically saying study whatever you need to, and they give you a list of books that you can choose from that aren't theirs, that are books from other organizations that you can study from to help pass their test. One of the books, oddly enough, was the Strength and Conditioning Specialist Essentials book from the NSCA CSCS. So you can purchase this book, and they say that's a good help for their test, or that's one of the books that you can read, or it will cover a big majority of their test, which is extremely odd because they're kind of companies that are going against each other. You know, it's like they both want money, they both want customers, so they're kind of rivals in a way. These are the only two organizations that I know that do this high-end cert like this. So yeah, and they also listed a book from the ACSM, which is the American College of Sports Medicine. So yeah, they had a list of books. You can go on the website. Basically, they're saying study a bunch of different books related to strength and conditioning, and that'll help pass the test. So I just put $188 because you could buy the technique book and their book, use that to study, and plus question mark, whatever else you want to buy, that'll help. And you'll probably want to buy another book because again, both of these are extremely hard. Now, the biggest difference between these two certifications is what you need to do to get the SCCC certification. You have to have a bachelor's degree, 1. You have to have a CPR and AED certification, that's 2. Oh, and the bachelor's degree for this one has to be related to strength and conditioning or exercise specifically. So again, that's a big difference right there. It has to be like exercise science or exercise physiology or like being a coach, basically, a strength coach or any type of coach, but it has to be specifically in that field. It can't like be physical therapy. I'm 99% sure it cannot be physical therapy based off of everything said on their website. You can call them, but I don't think that'll work. It has to be, if you're going to be bachelor's, if you're going to school, it has to be you are going to be a strength and conditioning coach. A CPR AED, then the next thing is you must be a strength coach or a student to become one. Their whole thing, which is a lot different from the CSCS, is you have to be going into the field of strength and conditioning. They don't want you doing anything else. You have to be going in there. So if you say, well, I don't know what I want to be, I just want to have the certification on the side because I like doing that as a kind of side hobby, and then I'm going to be doing law or whatever it is you want to do on the side, or you want to be a construction worker with this, you can't do that. They want you to be a full-time strength and conditioning coach, which it's good. It's good for the fact that they want people that are full-heartedly going to be and solely going to be a strength coach, and that's what they're 100% going to do, nothing else, and they have all their undivided attention on that one career. So basically, I would say almost like the most devoted people are going to be getting this certification, to be honest. I'm not saying I remember I have this book. I'm not being biased because I have this book and I'm going to be getting this certification. But this one is like you have to have this. And another thing too, I'll talk about it in a little bit, but yes, you have to, all right, sorry, I lost my train of thought, but you have to be a strength coach or a student going to become one. So keep that in mind. So you have to be a currently practicing strength coach, or you have to be a student going to become one. So that's very important. I can't stress that enough. I don't want you to be getting some other degree and you forget that you can do that. Also too, on top of this, you need experience in strength, being a strength coach. So for example, if you're a student going to become one, I'm pretty sure they have an internship plan on the website for the requirements. If you're a student that's going to become a strength coach and you want the certification, you have to do like an internship. And it's like, I forget how many hours, I think it was 600 hours or something. So you have to have experience. You can't just be a student and then go and take the test and become SCCC. So yeah, it's pretty hard. There's a lot of requirements for this. Now, for the other one where I said you must be a strength coach or a student. So what if you're saying, well, I already have a strength coach, I already have experience. You have two routes here. You could have 3 years. If you have 3 years experience, then you have to do some review test or something. Like another one of the people that is certified with them reviews you or goes to like a review packet. And then if you pass it, you're eligible to take the test or get the certificate if you've already took it. I don't know how it works. Or you just can have, with no review, no test, no internship, you have to have 12 years experience as a strength coach, which is a lot of experience. They want you to just be 100%, like I said, legit, no excuses. Now, a surprising thing that I was going to talk about a little earlier, but I'm going to mention now, is you cannot have dual certifications with this certification. No, you can't have a personal trainer certification. They even mentioned physical therapy on there, which is extremely odd. They said that, this is how they explained it. They said that physical therapy, personal training, athletic training, nursing, I think they said nursing, but you could say whatever you want, group trainers, they all have very developed and in-depth ways that they do things, and each one of those careers that I just listed is done in a specific particular way and has its own style of doing things. So they say that if you have multiple certifications, it's gonna basically divide your attention and keep you from being the best strength coach you can if you're worried about physical therapy and strength coach at the same time. They don't want you to have any other certifications. They want all your knowledge and all your attention and everything you do towards their certification and towards strength and conditioning. Yes, you can read other books. You can get other books. You can get this book and read it all you want. I mean, they even recommend getting this book to study for their test, but they don't want you to get that test. They don't want you to get any other test besides theirs. You can't be certified in anything else, which is a bonus, and is a plus and a minus in my opinion. Yes, they want the best. It helps them, like be divided towards their career, towards strength and conditioning. But at the same time, I don't know. I like the idea of having maybe 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 certifications. To me, it helps me learn more about the human body. Yes, you can just read the books from these other certifications and stuff, but the fact that I'm not tested on it doesn't make me feel legit. People like having a little certificate saying that you passed this test. I want a certificate saying I passed more than one test. To me, it helps me learn more. But I guess it does, in that sense, I like learning more. And plus, that's my goal, is to become a physical therapist. I want to be a physical therapist and a strength and conditioning coach too. I feel like physical therapists have a vast knowledge, so that's what I want to do. So the fact that you can't do that, it kind of irks me a little bit. It's like, well, you're basically telling me, I can't. You're telling me basically what I can and can't do. Look, I'm not going to complain about it. That's what they want. If you don't want to fulfill those requirements, then don't go to that certification. The CSCS one is right here. But what the plus of this is that you're going to basically get the one person who's going to be completely devoted to strength and conditioning. They're not going to have rehabilitation from physical therapy in their mind. They're not going to learn how to do I don't know, Zumba. They're not going to be learning how to train people one-on-one because that's not what's gonna. That's not what they're going to be doing. They're going to be working in team environments. They're not going to be learning about rapping and athletic training. So basically, none of their brain's going to be divided to doing anything else except strength and conditioning, which could be a big plus. I mean, I can't see that why that wouldn't be good. But for someone who likes doing multiple things, who likes learning about the human body, that's definitely a minus. So again, take that how you want. 150 to 10. So 150 scored questions on the regular multiple choice exam, and then 10 non-scored questions like I explained earlier. They have their practical, and another bonus for this one is the practical. You have to have, there's a hands-on practical. So you have to actually get tested in person too. So you have to meet up with someone and a panel of master trainers, I think it is. There's a panel of people. They maybe test you an exercise technique. I don't know what the actual test is. They're going to have it checked it. So, but the fact that they have a practical is great. I've actually read somewhere, some people say it's good. I've heard someone said it's a joke. So that's just what I read in a forum. Someone said that you go in there, no one's super serious. That's just, again, I'm not saying that that's how it is. That's not my opinion. I don't want to offend anybody, but that's what I read. Now, I've also read that it's great. So again, it's 50-50. You never know. It could be great. But the fact that they have that to me is a bonus. It's a plus. I mean, it's the fact that they're having you show up and show something is obviously they're not doing that. So that's just my opinion. 50 to 70% passing rate depending on the year. I looked at the year since 2011. It kept going back and forth. There was like 72% one year, 51% one year, 70%, 53%. So it's basically about the same. If you slap it right down in the middle, it's around 60%. So yeah, so they're basically about the same passing rate on the actual tests. So they're, I would say, the same difficulty. You have to recertify every 3 years with this one too. So recertification is the same. This one, you can go to a conference each year. They have a big conference for their specific thing that you can go to each year. And that, I'm pretty sure if I was reading it right, covers all the recertification requirements you're going to have to take. If you do go to all these conferences, you don't have to do anything else for your CEUs. So the conferences, I don't know how they are. You learn stuff. So it seems pretty cool. I mean, I guess. But so that's how you can recertify for there. It totals up to 45 CEUs. So yeah, as you can see, this one is a lot less. So I'm going to go over everything again real quick. This one is a lot less restrictive. You can just get it, have it on the side, do something else. The problem that you might not have as much hands-on experience can scare me. You know, you might have some people in here who are not as legit as others in the same certification. Almost all the people in here, they really set that bottom line. They're not going to have anyone below this line because you need all this experience. You need to meet them in person. I mean, they want you to go to these conferences. But at the same time, you can't. It's almost like, and not in a bad way, in a very good way. It's almost like like I said, I don't want to piss anyone off, but it's almost like a good cult, a good one. They want you to be the best strength and conditioning coach ever. I mean, another way is like a closed group. Call it a closed group, whatever. So I think that's really cool, but at the same time, you may want to branch out and do other things, but they don't want you to do that. You have to have that. So again, you can take this how it is. You can go to the websites, look them up yourself. Yeah, sorry the video was so long. Again, I felt like it was something I really had to go in depth on. These are some pretty in-depth certifications. But if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. If you know someone who wants to become a strength and conditioning specialist, please get them to watch this video. Again, I know it was long, but it has a lot of good information. Again, I have all my social media linked down below: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and here you are on my YouTube. But if you have any other recommendations for a video, please let me know down below, and I'll think about making them for next time. Peace.